Waiting notification. Perfect. Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning into a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have an incredible guest with us, one who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than out of Milwaukee, Brother Charles Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam, sir.
This means so much to myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast. Before we get started, I want to say that this brother, when I was growing up, he always was a staple in the community, in the nation, but he was the example, one of the strong examples of what a student captain was, and in my mind is how I see a FOI conducting himself in a masculine, strong yet caring man. And Brother Charles, all of my interactions with you have always been positive, intimidating, but very positive. But always being kind to myself and my family and the believers. And I just want to say before we get started to let you know that we thank Allah for you, your sacrifice, and the sacrifice of your family, sir. It truly means a lot to me that you would take time to come and have a conversation with me, because you're one of the men that I admire, and I always have admired and always will admire, Brother Charles. So I just wanted to let you know that. Yes, sir. Now, before we get started, now that we have started, Brother Charles, when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Okay, I first heard in 1988. I knew of, well, first of all, I'd like to say assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, sir.
I knew of the teachings through my father back in the early 60s. But he listened to the minister via radio. But I heard the teachings in 1988 when I was living in LA. And I don't know how much time we have, but I then joined in 1990. After living in LA and relocated back here to Milwaukee. To answer that question.
Okay, yes, sir, yes, sir. Well,
Right.
Brother Charles, what was it about the teachings that made it personal to you, that made you want to accept the teaching?
Well, let me say this, Josh. I heard the minister speak at the Coliseum in 1988. And what he said, I couldn't believe what he was saying. And no one disagreed. And when I say no one, I'm saying the media did not disagree with him. And he asked the media to tell the world that if he was a liar, print it tomorrow, and he would sit down. Well, at that time, I was working for corporate America, and I said, yeah, if he's a liar, tell it, because I want to know. Because I couldn't believe some of the things that he was saying. Well, at the time, I was living in LA, and I had a fancy office in Century City, which is in Beverly Hills. And I asked my secretary to bring all publications from all across the country, because I wanted to see if the media would say that the minister was a liar. Well, I searched and I didn't find anything, and that blew my mind. So from that point, the interest was there. But let me say this before I go there, Brother Josh. I want to speak a little transparent, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
You know me, brother. I was working on a project in Vegas, and I had just came in and from Vegas back home to LA. And my wife was sitting there watching the television, and she said for me to go down to the Coliseum to hear the minister or get her a tape. And I said, I ain't going down there. I'm looking at the television. I said, I'm not going down there to get involved with all those people down there. Look, they wrapped around the corner. How am I going to get in? She said, well, go get me a tape. And I said, well, I said, well, I'll go. And I went down. And a brother came and he let me in the side door. And he searched me, and I tried to grease his palm a little bit by giving him a little something to let me in because I bypassed all the people.
Yes, sir.
And he sat me on the front row.
Mm,
And
mm,
I'm like, how the hell did I get on the front row?
mm.
So anyway, I'm listening to the minister, right? And the minister was teaching hard, brother. But then he started teaching about the mother plane.
Let's get into
And
it.
I'm like, what is this brother talking about? So there was a brother sitting next to me in a wheelchair. And I turned to the brother and I said, brother, what is the minister talking about, this mother plane? He said, man, shut up and just listen. I'm like, you're in a wheelchair, man. I'll break you off. Man, he said, brother, just listen. So I'm listening. Well, that was the point that the media, when he said if he was a liar, for the media to expose him. And I said, yes, expose him. Because see, I was at the time, I was a non-believer. I had fell out of the church. Had no interest in any religious belief system. So during that time, I was in the alcohol business at the time. So I was out there, in the world, doing that thing. But it was that point that the media did not say one word, and that bothered me here. And I couldn't rest. So I resigned from the company, relocated back to my hometown, which is Milwaukee. And I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no idea that I would be joining the nation, none of that. And, but that's the turning point in my life, was right there. Most people thought I lost my mind. They thought I lost my mind, brother, when I resigned from, what some consider today a pretty nice job. But anyway, that was the turning point at that point. Want me to continue on, or?
Oh, yes, sir. Take your time.
So then I get back here. My children were young, and I enrolled my children into a private school. And I saw a brother by the name of Jerry X. Billing. Now, I watched him, how he maneuvered within the school and how he moved in the city. I watched him for about a year. Never said anything to him. My wife had been telling me about this brother doing presentations at the school and how bold he spoke. And she said he sounded like the minister, Mr. Farrakhan. So after about a year, I decided to approach the brother. And when I approached the brother, he had all the books and tapes laid out on the table. And he said to me, are you interested in some of the material? And I said, yeah, I'm interested. And I said, which one of the books or tapes do you recommend that I start off with? And he said, How to Eat to Live. I said, what you trying to say, man? I'm fat? I've always, been a tall kind of, I never considered myself fat, but
Yes, sir.
But so he laughed and he said, no, brother. He said, this particular book here has more depth than what you know. It's not just how to eat to live, but it's also how eat to live is how we feed off of what we receive. I said, okay, well, I'll take that book and give me every book and every tape on the table. So he gave me every book. I said, do you accept a check? And he said, yes, sir. So I wrote a check for every book and tape he had on the table. And I had a stack of books and stacks of tapes. And I got busy. So then he invited me out to a FOI class, or I should say a class. So I thought that maybe I would be, coming to a big fine mosque, a huge building, all the brothers I saw in LA. I thought that that's what I was going to see, but I didn't. What I saw was a house and nobody around. And I said, I called the brother and said, brother, you had me come to a house, brother. There's nobody here. I said, I'm at a house. Where's the mosque? He said, oh, brother, we don't have a mosque. It is my house. The meeting place is my house. And I said, okay, whoa, well. So then my wife called me while I'm on the phone with you, brother. So excuse me.
Yes, sir.
She's trying to get in the house, I guess.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, it'll be okay. She understands.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, I'm at the house and I'm trying to figure out, what is this brother doing and where's everybody else at? Where's all the FOI? So he invites me in. He's dressed in a jogging suit. And I'm in a shirt and tie, and I'm coming for a meeting. So he invites me in. He tell me to go around to the back door. I go to the back door and he have me go down to his basement. So I go down to his basement and I'm looking around in the basement and I'm like, it's got it set up like a classroom. It's got about 20 chairs, podium, flag, nation's flag. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for everybody else. I'm looking at my watch, nobody else. Can you hear that? The phone?
No, so I can hear the phone ringing, but I can hear you now, sir.
Okay. So so everything is set up like a FOI class. So now I'm thinking, what am I doing here? So now all of a sudden the brother comes in. And the brother comes in and he's suited and booted. Bow tie, he marches out. Ha, oh, and that's what he was saying. Ha, oh, and I'm looking at him like, what's going on here? He goes to the podium. He said, attention prayer. Stand, have me stand. I'm standing with your hands in an upright position, like as if to receive something. And I'm like, what is he doing, man? What's wrong with this? This is not the same brother I saw, at the school. So he says prayer and then he marches over to the flag, pop, 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 and then he salutes and bam! And I'm like, whoa, what is he doing? Then he says this pledge to the flag and turns back around and marches back over to the podium. Then he says to me, you may be seated, brother. So I sit down, I'm watching him like, oh man, this brother lost it. Then he says, you thought I lost my mind, didn't you? I said, yeah, brother, I did. He said, well, brother, I'm giving you a glimpse of what the future is gonna look like for you. I said, what? I said, well, where's everybody else at? He said, you're it. And it's going to be me and you and others that's going to raise the city. And that's how I began, bro. Started in my prospects. Well, to kind of get this to a point where you can ask questions if you like.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know you doing a phenomenal job. Brother Tony showing you love, Brother Ronald, my sister Miriam, Brother Duncan, X Martin, people showing you love all across the country saying ASA, our brother Captain. I can't wait to put this on YouTube. So and please let us know what city you are from and continue to give anecdotes and stories about student Captain Charles Muhammad. Okay, my next question for you, sir, is how did your family and close friends felt once you were locked in completely with the nation?
Well, I wasn't locked in right away.
Mm.
I procrastinated with Brother Jerry. But my family, when they found out, they thought I lost my mind. Because my mother was the mother of the church. And I mean, my father, he wasn't really a church goer, but he didn't have a problem with it. But my siblings did. They had a serious problem because, they were in church. They had always been telling me I should find a church home. And I said, well, I found a home. Nation of Islam. Oh man, that presented all kind of problems for me.
Yes, sir.
Gosh. Took years to overcome some of the difficulty in dealing with family. And to the degree, it's been 30 plus years now, and still a little difficulty there for some. But that's on them. But I procrastinated. Brother Jerry asked me one day, he said, brother, when you gonna complete your process, man? Do your letter and come on in and help the Honorable Minister Min Farrakhan. I said, brother, I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna do it. Just hold on, I'm gonna do it. Now, he had constantly been in my butt, man, and about this. And then a couple other brothers surfaced. One brother relocated in from Philly. There was another brother in Milwaukee who he had been working with by the name of Brother Tony Muhammad, whom I really admire that brother. He's a non-practicing FOI right now, but he really helped in the building of the mosque here in Milwaukee. The next day, I received a phone call from Brother Jerry's wife, Sister Virginia. And Sister Virginia said to me, she said, Brother Charles, Brother Jerry had passed. He passed. He transitioned this morning. And I'm like, what? I just talked to him last night. I said, stop playing with me. She says, no, brother, I'm not playing. He passed. So I heard the crying in the background, the children.
Okay, yes. And thank everybody for watching while we wait for Brother Charles to come back on. Brother Duncan, about love your stories, please. This story's at the mosque. Okay.
Brother Josh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We're right here with you.
Okay. Did you hear me talking to my wife?
No, sir. We didn't hear that.
All right, great. So anyway, I forgot where I was left off because my wife
yes, sir. Brother Jerry passed away.
Wife called. He passed. Now we had just had a conversation that day before he transitioned about me procrastinating. He told me, he said, brother, I know what it's going to take for you. It's going to take death to bring about life in you. So I thought that they were playing with me. But come to find out that he was telling the truth. Now, he had told me that he knew the minister. And I'm like, brother, you don't know the minister like that. He said, no, brother, I know the minister. So make it short, he minister ended up doing the eulogy.
Mm.
And I realized then that, hey, he did know the minister, like he said. So the minister, after the eulogy, he wanted to speak with all those who was with Brother Jerry. And of course, hundreds of people said that they was with him. And I knew, I was like, yeah, right. I said, they lying, Brother Minister, because he asked to speak and meet with me. Brother Abdullah came and got me because Brother Jerry had told him about me, and he knew I was studying with Brother Jerry. And Brother Rashawn, no, I'm sorry. It was Brother Jerry, it was Brother Abdullah, and Brother, I want to say Brother Rashawn or Rashad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That also came to get me. But anyway, the minister, we met in a little small room at a church, Holy Redeemer, a Baptist church where the eulogy took place. And we met in a little office building next door. And the minister asked me at the time, he said to me, he said, brother, I understand you've been studying with Brother Jerry. And I said, yes, sir. He said, well, brother, how far are you in your process? I said, well, I've been procrastinating, Brother Minister. I'm just being honest with you. I haven't completed my letter or anything of that nature. He said, well, okay, well, brother, I want to ask you a question. He said, will you help me? I'll show you where my mind was at, Josh. I said, can I think about it? I'm saying to the man of God back there, can I think about it? He said, yeah, brother, you can think about it. How about if I give you 30 days to think about it? I said, okay, that's fair. So, I mean, we talked further and he talked about Brother Jerry, and he asked me a couple of questions about, did I believe that the way Brother Jerry died, that he died that the way that they say he did? And I said, no, sir. I don't believe that he died like they said. And he said to me, you're absolutely right, brother. He did not. He said, so we'll talk about that at a later date and time. I said, yes, sir. So in 30 days, I come home. I see a brother sitting on my steps, and I'm like, who is this sitting on my porch? I knew he was FOI, he was suited and booted, had a pen, his pen on his lapel, and clean shave. And he said to me, I said, can I help you, brother? He said, yes, sir. He said, are you Brother Charles? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, I'm brother at the time. I'm Brother Frank Muhammad. I'm the Supreme Captain of the Nation of Islam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I said, the who? He said, the Supreme Captain of the Nation of Islam. The Honorable Min Farrakhan sent me to your home because he gave you 30 days to see if you would be willing to help him. And I said, well, yes, sir. Well, come on in, brother. So I invited him into my home. And we sat at my dining room table. Now, his name was Brother Frank at the time, but now it's Brother, Ali.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm like, explain this Supreme Captain stuff. Explain this captain's stuff you're talking about. Because I wanted to hear from him, since he said he was the Supreme Captain. I'm like, okay, Supreme. So we sitting at the table, and he asked me to draw out a little diagram, and I drew out this little diagram, which I'm not gonna say what he had me draw. And then he turned to me and he said, yeah, brother, he said, the minister said you would be the captain. I said, the minister said, I would be the captain? Brother, I ain't in the process yet. How am I gonna be the captain? He said, because the minister wanted to know if you would help him. So let me ask this question first. Will you help him? I said, yeah, I guess I'll help. It's okay. He said, but you're gonna be the captain. Now, that brother that I told you about that transferred in from Philly to Milwaukee, the minister appointed him as the minister, which was Brother Ahmed Muhammad.
Mm.
So he was appointed as a local minister. In my process, completed my process, wrote my letter, sent it in. But the back up to the dining room table that we sitting at the table, we was having this conversation, a lengthy conversation about what the responsibilities would be as an FOI.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What it meant, the whole nine. Then he told me that I would be the captain, and he told me that I would need a certain number of men to become the captain. And I said, well, brother, right now it's just me and two other brothers. Where are all these men gonna come from?
Mm.
He said, the minister said, you're gonna get them. I'm like, what? So here we are this day. I've been a captain since 1990. I mean, more, my second tour of duty, but served as a captain from 1990 to present day. So I'll leave it right there for you in case you have any questions in between, because there's a lot happening between that. But anyway, go ahead, Josh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, great. And thank everybody who's in the comments. People showing you love all across the country. Now, what happened the next time you saw the minister after you were now accepted being a captain? What happened the next time you saw the minister?
Well, I didn't see the minister right away. In terms of having a conversation. I ended up getting busy working, trying to build, the mosque. Well, we were a study circle at the time, and then from a study circle to a study group. And from a study group, then in 1993, we became a mosque. 93, 94, we became a mosque. So in about a 3-year period, we reestablished mosque number 3, filed for our charter. But what happened was, during that process, the former Supreme Captain, Brother Frank at the time, I asked him what captain did he think that I could get with or work with or help train me as a captain, because there was no lieutenants or anything like that. So he said, well, brother, there's a brother in Detroit that I want you to call by the name of, at the time, Captain Thomas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which is now Captain Majid.
Yes, sir.
Emeritus Captain Majid out of Detroit. So my first Savers Day was Savers Day in 1990 in Detroit. So I worked with him. I worked with, at the time, Brother Hugh out of San Diego, and so forth. I just watched everybody, all the captains in the other cities. And then I would travel back and forth to Chicago to meet with the Supreme Captain to ask questions. Now, but it was, so then there was some changing of the guard. And your father, Brother, former Supreme Captain Abdul Sharif Muhammad, was installed as the captain. And so he is the one, along with Brother Frank or Brother Ali, helped me a great deal understand the principles and the concept of what it takes to be a captain. So your father really showed me the way. He had established what we call back then account execs. Which the account execs handled, for the most part, the final call newspaper. And they were like the buffers for the Supreme Captain. We would go through our account execs to the Supreme Captain. That was the kind of connection we had. My account exec is none other than the Brother Sada.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brother Sada, in my opinion, probably, there ain't no probably about it. In my opinion, he was the toughest. He was the most direct. He was very transparent. He was zero tolerance. And he loved the minister. And he would get in our butt. I don't know if brothers could take what he put on me, calling me at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, saying that, brother, I'm at the final call and the paper money's due, and we need your money in tonight. I said, well, brother, I'll send it up tomorrow. No, brother, the Supreme Captain is sitting right here with us and you in the bed sleep. He said, Supreme Captain want to talk to you, brother. And I'm like, you want to talk to me? He said, yeah. That's 3 o'clock in the morning. My wife is asking, who is that on the phone? He says, Brother Sada, it's from the Supreme Captain's office. And your father would get on the phone. I said, like, I said, well, salam, sir. Brother Charles, Brother Sada tell me that you are about to go up on the final call newspaper. And I'm like, well, I didn't tell him that we were going up. Why? Brother Charles gonna go up at least 50 to 100 papers. I'm like, okay, yes, sir, Brother Supreme. We'll go up 50. We'll do the best we can. Oh, thank you, Brother Charles. And Brother Charles, you bringing that money tonight, right? It's only about an hour. Well, how far is Milwaukee? An hour, 15 minutes, an hour. Supreme, I really, it wasn't no argument. I mean, but it was that kind of flavor. And I don't think that many who, well, I shouldn't say many. I'm just saying, I'll say it like this. They were tough on me in terms of the training. But I respected the training a great deal. I didn't run from it, because that's what I was looking for. I was looking for that type of training. And believe me, man, your father and the town execs and all the lieutenants, the first officer and all those, man, I respect them and admire them to this day. Those who are with us and those who are not with us, I still love every minute of training that I received and that they gave me. So when I saw the minister, I saw him in the FOI class that I was invited to in Chicago. Maybe a year or 2 had went by. And when I saw him in the class, he walked past me, and he stopped, and then he backed up, and he looked at me, and then he saluted me. And he kept on going. And I was like, and the brothers kept asking me, brother, what was that all about? I'm like, brother, I don't know. How do I know? I'm like, I don't know. But the minister, man, he's so wise in his insight, how he see into things.
Yes, sir. Yes,
he
sir.
He knew what we were doing in Milwaukee. And so if a person think that the minister don't know, they're fooling themselves. Because he's more advanced than any man I know in terms of his thinking and his insight. He is who they say he is. Okay. And I knew that when the media did not say he was a liar. So that was when I saw him. Now, I wasn't trying to get close to the minister to be around him. Like I saw so many other people trying to, profile and posture and try to get next to the minister. I just wanted to help. So your father, what I would do for former Supreme Captain Abdul Sharif, or now Minister Sharif, I would volunteer for any assignment that he gave.
Mm.
He would say, well, who wants the rooftop? I would raise my hand. So we got the rooftop. Who wants the parking lot? I raised my hand. So we got the parking lot. Who wants the outer perimeters? I raised my hand. Get the outer perimeters. Who wants the catwalk, the basement, the hotel's duty? I raised my hand. So the brothers got to a point. Brother Charles, why you always raise your hand? We don't never get a chance to get inside, brother. You always raise your hand for all these, for the outside, rooftop. And I said, but brother, I want to understand all these positions. I want to know everything there is to know about the positions. And I'm telling you, one day we'll be inside. So I forget what city we were in. Captains, we always meet and have a meeting before, the event. And the Supreme said to us, I need to know, we got a lot of coverage. And I need to know who wants the garage or the rooftop duty assignment. And I raised my hand. He said, but Charles, if you don't put your hand down, brother. He said, brother, turn to the other captains. He said, why is it that every time I ask you all who wants an assignment, Brother Charles is the first one to raise his hand and nobody wanted to take on that responsibility. He said, Brother Charles, how many brothers do you have? Do you have enough brothers for front rostrum? Are they in uniform? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, you got front rostrum. And Brother Josh, we've been inside ever since.
Oh, praise is good. Yes, sir.
Even though we're currently under our Supreme Captain, Brother Mustafa.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Farrakhan. But we've been inside ever since because we work hard, brother, to demonstrate our love and dedication. And we don't run from any responsibility. We don't run from any posts. Now, don't tell anybody this, but I stole this from Memphis, from Muhammad Muslim at 55. I took this, I stole it. We don't run from the work. We run to the work.
Yes, sir.
So don't tell Captain Anthony J that I stole that. Don't tell him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But that's where we are, brother. And we did a lot of road work, man. We stayed on the road, man. We would leave on a Friday from Milwaukee, which, for those who don't know, Milwaukee is north of Chicago. And we would drive all the way to New York for a detail and get back in the vehicles and be back for the Sunday meeting. Or Monday morning to go for the brothers to be at work. We had brothers at the time that were young, like, for example, Brother Calvin, right?
Yes, sir.
He was
yes,
in
sir.
Kansas City, one of GM's students. Brother Calvin would go to school. He would get out of school on a Friday. We would leave, maybe go to New York or Detroit or wherever, Atlanta, wherever, and be back on Monday. And he would tell all his friends that he was in New York. They'd be like, man, you lying, man. You ain't been nowhere, man. How you gonna go to New York? This was in class on Friday. He's like, brother, how you know? But that's what happened, brother. That's how we did it. I mean, imagine 20 brothers in a room, hotel room. I would go in advance, get the room, and we slip brothers into the room. Sleeping in tubs and car on the floor, making pallets and doing whatever it took, man, to secure our little teacher. So, we did whatever it took. And I was, you said I was intimidating when you on this call.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My position is not to intimidate anybody. but I take the responsibility very seriously.
Okay.
Because you got to remember, brother, we're talking the lives of the believers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so if I pledge my life for this, that my life and my death is all for Allah, then why would I play with you or anybody? So I took the job very seriously. So we've had conversations, off this podcast where you and I talked, and you can see that I'm really, I'm a talkative brother when you're one-on-one, but when it's time to do the work,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm watching, I'm observing, I'm looking for anything that all things should be considered
Yes,
that
sir.
may
Yes,
go
sir.
wrong. I'm painting the worst case scenario in my mind and prepared to deal with the worst case scenario if I have to give my life for that. And I do that to this day. I do that. That practice is not done just when I'm at an event or on a detail. I do it every day of my life with my family, friends, and wherever I'm at. And so that's what these teachings have done for me, bro. You know how they say in the church, what has God done for you? Well, I can say, well, what has Muhammad done for you? And I can tell you what Muhammad has done for me because, it changed my life. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, Josh, other than I can't see anything greater or better, and haven't found and stopped looking for anything. Now, my focus now is to turn inward on me and look at myself. The study materials say self-improvement,
Yes, sir.
the basis for community development. So if it's self-improvement, that means that you and we got to look at self first
That's right.
before we can help family or community, in that order.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's how I see this, brother. But I mean, those who know me know that I will give my life, brother, for this.
Wow.
And as a student captain, the title, I used to hate the title. I didn't come seeking this title. I came to help. And especially after Brother Jerry made this transition, I said, every time I even thought about quitting, it has entered into my mind. But every time it enters into my mind, Brother Jerry comes up in my mind. The minister comes up in my mind. My pledge to Supreme Captain Frank Muhammad, Brother Ali.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My pledge to Student Captain, Supreme Captain Abdul Sharif. My pledge to Supreme Captain, Student Captain Mustafa Muhammad or Mustafa Farrakhan. My pledge to them and the brotherhood and to my family.
Yes, sir.
My life and my death is all for Allah. And brother, I can't go anywhere because I don't know where else to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's kind of like where I'm at, Josh. I told you I don't know what you want to hear from me, what kind of story I have. I mean, we got some war stories and some things that we did on the road, but that's been my work, brother. Those titles, man, that's just a fancy title. I used to fall in rank with the brothers, and Supreme used to, all the Supreme captains would tell me, brother, get out of line, Brother Charles. You ain't supposed to be in line. You're supposed to be walking up and down the line, brother, making sure that the soldiers are cracked where they supposed to be. Crisp, sharp, clean, shoes shine, shirts white shirt, t-shirt, polished. So that's your job, brother. So don't fall in rank, Brother Charles. You understand what you're trying to take a humble approach and all that, but that's not the role, Brother Charles. I was going, yes, sir. So they taught me a lot, brother. I learned a lot from all. I learned a lot from so many different captains. Our current Assistant Supreme Captain,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Aziz. I remember when I first saw that little brother. I said, that little brother. Because I said, when I first saw him, I said, who is this little brother? And I saw him in New York. We were on a detail in New York, and he was the point man for the minister. And I had heard about him, I had even heard about him in New York when I was living there, because he was a snooker player under Dr. Moses Powell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they were training in Brooklyn, and I was in the arts in Queens with Grandmaster La Puppet in Shola Khan. So I started off in Shola Khan. So I had heard about them. I had heard about how they be mixing it up in the dojo, and schools would challenge them, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, and most of them were in the nation and all that. I'm like, oh, okay, but it is what it is. But anyway, when I saw him, I'm like, oh, so that's brother Anthony. That's the brother they've been talking about. But from him to present day, I learned a lot from that brother, man. Not just in the art, but just the protocol of what it takes to be an FOI. The principles of Islam. He's more than just a martial artist, like the Supreme, like your father. These brothers helped me with my manhood training, helped me better understand manhood training and what it takes to be a man. And so I'll be with Brother Aziz, formerly Brother Anthony, Grandmaster Anthony. I'll be with him this week for the national training, which this will be the 27th year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And in 26 of those 27, I'm praying to Allah that I could be a part of this Friday's opening event. It will give me 27 years of never missing a national training. What kind of brother could say he's an FOI and not train? What kind of military, which we say we are, and a brother say he is a part of the military training of the men in North America, he's an FOI and can't come to a national training? I have to look at that brother, man, a little different. Like, okay. Because even in the devil's military, you go through basic training.
That's right. That's right.
Then you go off into your discipline. Everybody's not a captain. Everybody's not a lieutenant. Everybody's not a secretary. Everybody's not an investigator. But everybody has a role, brother. And the positions that are awaiting us, there are so many positions that haven't even been developed yet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, we're talking about building a nation. We ain't talking about, I'm a part of a fraternal order. So we ain't talking about no fraternity. We're not talking about an interest club. We're not talking none of that. We're talking about building a nation. And a nation, man, have 9 ministries. Every nation have 9 ministries.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the minister introduced the 9 ministries to us. It's up to us to choose which one we want to be a part of. Well, currently I'm a part of the Ministry of Defense. Okay. I'm also part of the Ministry of Trade and Commerce. All right. I'm also part of the Ministry of Agriculture. Those are the ones that I have chosen for myself, because those are the ones that's going to protect myself, my family, and my community in that order. If those who are listening, and if you understand what I'm saying to you, Josh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm working at building on just those 3 ministries alone. Now, granted, there's other ministries: Ministry of Information, Ministry of Arts and Culture, and all that. Okay, that's all fine. But those are the 3 that I have chosen to focus in on, and that's just in case the Supreme Captain decide, okay, Brother Charles, we got a brother over here who has more energy. Not saying that I'm that my back is gone, but we have someone here that fits the profile of what we believe a student captain should be, and decide to replace me. I'm fine with that. Because the minister told us early, make room in the assembly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm prepared to step aside, and if there's someone that I know or that they feel that can do a better job than me, hey, so be it. I don't have no problems with that. I watched you grow from that little young man carrying that heavy diaper around to currently now into manhood, who now have this beautiful podcast that so many have been telling me about, and they asking me, but Josh, I told a few brothers I'm gonna be on Josh's podcast. They're like, brother, you gonna be on Josh's podcast? Do you know who he is? I'm like, huh? Do I know who he is? Yeah, bro. He's the son of Mr. Abdul Sharif. Brother, that's an honor to be on his podcast. So I'm honored, Brother Josh.
Honest mind, brother Captain. Honest mind,
be on
sir.
your podcast. You said that you admire me.
Yes, sir.
Well, let me flip this. I admire you.
All praises to Allah.
I admire you because I've had an opportunity to watch you grow from as a young adult into manhood, and to develop yourself to what some brothers said to me, that you got celebrity status. I'm like, whoa. I said, whoa, wait a minute. So you made me a little nervous, Brother Josh.
That's really good.
Getting on this podcast. So I said, oh, okay, well, I better tighten up here. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that, brother. Since you told me that I can feel free to talk any way that I want.
Yes, sir.
I can be transparent. You asked me in the opening before we even came on, is there anything that I didn't want to talk about and didn't want to be said and all that? Well, I ain't trying to hide nothing, because I ain't hiding from nobody.
Yes, sir.
Because Allah sees it all anyway. So who am I hiding from?
Yes, sir.
So we got positions, man, that's awaiting all of us. We just have to, as men and MGT or women, have to find our way and find out what it is that we love and say that we would like to do, and then just move out on it. And I love this, brother. I love the work, man. I love it's been 30 plus years, 32, 33 years now. And always something different. It's always something different. Your father used to say, your brother, former Supreme Sharif would say, but Charles, expect change, brother. But Charles, I want you to also listen for what's not being said, brother. And if you do that, brother, then you'll do just fine. I mean, I took all that to heart. And I would travel to Chicago to get one answer. If I had a question, I would travel to Chicago and I would sit for hours for just one question to be answered. And sometimes it would just be so simple, a simple question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For example, when we're in rank, Brother Supreme, and we say, and we count off, do the brother hold his head and look forward, or do he snap his head One, and right back. I mean, simple stuff, because that's real important in our development.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We have to fine tune things. And that's why I watch you and the other brothers from the other cities that you and many others were in deep competition with,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
doing the drill competition,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the righteous competition.
That's right.
And I
That's
would
right.
see you, hey, brother, I said, oh, look at little Josh, look at little Josh. But anyway.
Okay, well, Brother Captain, we have some people who are showing you love all across the country. Sister
Praise
Michelle
the
from
Lord.
Chicago says that she thanks you for your hard work and your dedication. Sister Walida, I don't want to mess up your name, says praise be to Allah. Thank you for you and your family. And people are showing you love. Sister Linda Bay Graham, all praise be to Allah, our history. People are just showing you love all across the country. My question for you, sir, is have you ever faced fear? And if so, how did you overcome that fear?
Yes, I have. Man, Josh, you would ask it, huh? Twice in my life. I mean, I've been nervous, but fear twice in my life. One prior to the nation and one while I was in the nation, since I've been in the nation. In 1998, I don't usually talk about this, but I said I would tell whatever. So I guess I'll tell it. In 1998, we were having a martial arts tournament here for training. So brothers was coming in across the country, out of the central region and across the country. So that Friday night, September 17th, I believe, the 17th, September. 17th, 18th, it was a Friday, I know. I was delivering some tickets for the event. And I asked my wife, a sister called me and asked me, could I drop some tickets off? Now, I'm not stupid, Josh. When a sister called you, you got to look deep into the call. Mm-hmm. So I told my wife, would you accompany me on this trip? I never, ever have been caught with a sister by myself, alone. Mm. So I asked my wife to accompany me. She said, of course. Yeah. So there was a brother with me also in me making this delivery. And I got caught in a crossfire. Now, on my way back to my vehicle, I heard some shooting, but I didn't think that they were shooting at me. And all of a sudden, I'm passing the house, and one of the bullets hit the house and blew a hole like this into the house. And they kept coming. So of course, I'm hitting, I'm taking off, and I'm up and down, I'm moving, trying to stay out of the way, trying to make it back to my vehicle. I get to the front of the house because I have to go to the rear, but I get back to the front of the house and I didn't see my wife or the brother in the car. So now I'm down hiding by some steps. And so I decided, well, the fire, the shooting kind of calmed down a little bit. So I decided, well, let me check on my wife and the brother. So when I stood up to look over into the car to see if they were in there, I didn't, and that's when I got hit, dead center, right below my solar plex, and it blew a hole in my gut. So I took and I panicked, and the blood was, it was pouring out like this, like. So I took a deep breath, like, cause I'm scared as hell. I ain't gonna lie, I'm like, man, I got. I'm looking at myself like, what the? So in the in all of that, I took a deep breath, and the blood, it was like it came right back into my body. So I kept doing it. I just kept taking deep breaths. Now, knowing my training, I had, we had what is called fire breaths, right? So I just kept breathing, and it kept going back in. So I took my white shirt, my white t-shirt, and I tore it, took my jacket, and I stuffed it in the hole like that, packed it in the hole, put my hand over it, went on the driver's side of the car, and there was my wife laying on the floor in the car, and the brother was laying on the back seat. And my wife said, "Charles, did you hear that shooting?" I said, "Yeah, I heard it." I told the brother on the back seat, "Brother, you got to drive, brother." He says, "Why?" I said, "I've been shot." He said, "What?" And then my wife screamed, "Ah, what?" So the door, it was at night, so the light came on when I opened the door, when the door was open. So she saw the blood and she panicked, man. She just lost it. Well, I make this short, trying to shorten this up. He was sitting in the back with his mouth open, the brother was. I ain't gonna expose him, I guess. I ain't gonna tell his name. I ain't gonna tell everybody that it was a brother by the name of Ricardo. But anyway, he was in the back with his mouth open, like, and my wife was screaming and hollering, and I'm the one shot. So now I'm getting my mind back. Now my mind is coming back. So I took the keys, put it in the ignition, and I drove myself to the hospital. And then when I got to the hospital door, the front entrance of the door, I drove to a trauma 2 hospital. The trauma 1 was too far out for me to make it through, so I went to a trauma 2. So there was nobody there really that could help me. But I passed out at the door, woke up on the gurney, and then I heard the doctor telling my wife that they were going to make me comfortable so that I could make a smooth transition. That's when the fear set in. I said, wait a minute, I'm dying? So of course, I started calling on the God. Doctor said he wasn't coming in to do the surgery. So he wasn't coming in to do the surgery because he had lost 2 patients that day, and he wasn't about to lose a 3rd. I heard all this. And at the same time I'm hearing all this, my body, I'm on the table, and my body jumping up and down because it was in shock. I couldn't control my body. And I'm hearing all the brothers in the back, and, back then, you could come right to the emergency. So all the brothers was there. Brothers was coming in from all over the country, man. And they was talking about tearing the hospital up. They called the police chief, and police chief wants to know who was this brother that these people getting ready to tear the hospital up. And they're talking about doing all these things. And Minister William, he had to call. He said, there's only one person that can call these brothers off, and he's laying on the table. So my first officer came in and whispered in my ear and told me what was going on. And I looked around and I said, there's nobody here that can do anything for me. I said, brother, call them brothers off, man. Don't do anything, man, so that y'all end up where I'm at. Now I'm juiced up, because they hit me with the morphine and all that. I'm juiced up, so now I'm thinking about me and my family and what I heard this doctor say, and I'm like, brother, no. all my family, they're coming to the hospital, mother, father. You know, I got a big family, Josh. I mean, it was just, man. And I'm thinking, man, I'm out of here. Well, here I am to talk about it. But let me share this, Josh. Check out what the doctor said, because my wife asked him after the surgery. She said, we heard you say that you wasn't coming. My wife is mad. She wanted to get at the doctor anyway. We heard you say you wasn't coming. But why? We heard that you was watching the De La Hoya fight. And you wasn't coming. And the doctor told my wife, he says, well, I'm gonna ask you a question. I lost 2 patients that day, and I wasn't about to lose a third. He said, what do you do when you don't want to go to work? You call in, don't you? She said, yeah. He said, well, let me say this to you. Your husband is sitting here right now because you can call it whatever you like. Now, this is a Jewish doctor. He said, you can call it whatever you like. You can say your husband is blessed. You can say your husband is lucky. You can say that your husband, that is Allah. You can say it whatever you want, but what we do know is that your husband is alive and he's here with you. I just want you to think about that he's here. So after that conversation, man, we had this conversation with the doctor. Then he started sharing what type of weapon and that kind of stuff that I was shot with was kind of a little bit unusual. So that kind of like put a lot on my mind. Because in the early 90s, I came through when things were happening with Brother Waleed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Former editor of the Final Call.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I came through with brothers like Brother Wazir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Former National Secretary of the Nation of Islam. And if you know the events that happened with them and others, you know, the doctor kind of shared some things with me. But check this out, the minister called me while I was in the hospital, and he was in Mexico, and he told me, he said, brother, don't you concentrate on revenge. Concentrate on healing, brother Cap. He said, if you concentrate on healing, then Allah will heal you faster than what those doctors are saying. Now, this is September. They were saying to me that I wouldn't be moving around until around maybe January or February. So from September to February, they say I would be able to, you know, get myself back. Well, I attended the Holy Day of Atonement that October. That's about a month later, a little bit over a month later, less than a month. So there is a God, brother.
Yes, sir.
I want to share this with you, Josh. Man, I'm going to say it too. When I was getting ready to go into surgery, the anesthesiologist said this to me. He said, brother, is there anything you would like to say before I take you under? And I said, yes, sir. I said, all praises due to Allah. He said, what? You Muslim? I said, yes, sir. He said, alhamdulillah. I'm Muslim, brother. He said, brother, I'm going to take good care of you. And then, this was strange, but the nurse, who was Asian, kissed me on my forehead. And when we're offline, brother Josh, I'll share the experience, what I experienced while I was under and after I came out. I'll share that with you offline. Otherwise, man, people will be saying, that's kind of spooky, bro, Charles. When spooky to me, I know what I was looking at. And that's why, man, I know that there is no God but Allah. So that was the fear that I had of dying. But then I realized that, wait a minute, there's no God but Allah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that if it's his will, then so be it. I'm on my phone, man, so I gotta get a little juice here. Otherwise, you're gonna lose me.
Yes, sir. Excellent. Brother Captain, while you're charging your, make sure your phone's charged. My sister Naima sends a greetings. Brother David says Allah Akbar. Sister JB says praise be to Allah. Sister Linda Bay Graham says yes, sir. Brother Teach, praise be to Allah. And Brother Side to Side, our brother says all praise be to Allah. People showing you love all across the country. Can't wait to get this on YouTube. Yes, sir. My next question is, earlier you said the minister speaking about the mother plane was a something that stuck out in your mind. Did you ever get confirmation in your own mind outside of what the media was saying with that, what you were wrestling with that?
The confirmation came later, much later.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm thankful to Allah, brother, that I was one of the brothers who witnessed during the dedication of the mosque. We were outside of the mosque on the perimeter, and we witnessed. You can call it whatever you like. I'm gonna tell you how one brother described it. He said, brother Cam, do we have two suns? Because it was just as large as the sun. It was my first time ever seeing anything like that. And that was during the dedication of the mosque.
Oh,
so about, yeah, dedication of the mosque. So that was my confirmation. But it wasn't like I did not believe that
yes, sir,
a unidentified flying object didn't exist. I always thought that something was there, but I had never seen anything. So it wasn't like I was in total doubt of what the minister was saying. I was just in awe that he was bold enough to tell the world. Because people was, like myself, was like, why would he say something like that, man? People don't think he's crazy.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
But I'm here, like I said, I'm a witness bearer that what he said, I have not found to this day, and I'm not looking for any flaw.
Oh, praise to Allah.
Not in him. The only person I'm looking at the flaw is in myself.
Beautiful. Now, Captain, the shooting took place in 1998. Mm-hmm. Was the case ever solved?
It's still open. Yeah, the case is still open. I got a pretty good relationship with our street organizations. That street community, man, tells you a lot. And,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And some of them assured me that that I should adhere to the minister's request, because I shared it with them that he said focus on healing. Because I had a lot of brothers approach me about, what am I going to do and all that kind of stuff. I said, I'm going to focus on healing. I not only did the FOI stand with me, but I had brothers in the community, and I live in the hood, brother. I don't live out in the suburbs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And brothers in my community, man, stood posts outside my home for over a month. I'm just, my wife, my family, we all live on the kind of like on the same block, because I moved back into my old neighborhood that I grew up in. Mm-hmm. So we own, the properties. There's properties, right next door to each other on the block that we own. And so, people still know me. But the brothers, they held posts for me, man, every day for over a month. Outside my home. So I'm thankful to Allah. So those soldiers are the soldiers that I've been trying to get for years, man, to come into the ranks. Like the minister say, he has an army that you don't see.
That's right.
Well, that's that army, brother. And I'm thankful to Allah that they're friends of mine and friends of Farrakhan.
Beautiful. Yes, sir.
Believe me when I tell you, Josh. I think you already know me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All praises due to Allah. Okay. My next question for you, sir, is what was the spirit like of the Million Man March in Milwaukee leading up to it, and how did it personally impact you?
Oh, brother, the Million Man March for me was like none other. Building up to it and the preparations to build up to it. We soldiered hard, brother. We were at all the men's meetings in every city. There was one men's meeting at the Armory uptown in Harlem. And that men's meeting, man, is when the minister made the announcement that, he was going to call 1 million men. And it was a very emotional meeting, brother. And I'm thankful to Allah that I was on stage with the minister at that time. I was, to the right of the stage, holding posts. Some of the brothers was on front rostrum and so forth when he made the announcement. And man, that Armory erupted with energy. It was so deep, Josh, and so many men that the women that came out to the Armory, for those who know about the Armory uptown in Harlem, I used to live in New York too, so I knew quite a few people, and but anyway, women dressed up like men, and the way that they got caught was through the search procedure, because they were all padded up, trying to wear the sports bras to keep themselves.
Yes, sir.
But some snuck through. How they got through, I don't know. But it was packed when he made the announcement. I've never seen an event like it in my life.
Beautiful.
Prior to the nation, I did a concert. When I lived in LA, I did a concert in Compton, right? I drew about 63,000 in Compton at Compton College. And most people don't know that was kind of the life I lived back then. I was in the marketing development department of our company, a Fortune 500 company that I worked for. So I did this concert, and I thought that was something because we only had 1 to 2 incidents at the concert. And I had the concert, I used the FOI, even though I wasn't trying to become an FOI, but I used the big brother Shaheed at the time, took the point on that. And that's how I knew him prior to coming into the nation, and may Allah be pleased with him.
Be pleased, yes, sir.
And his family, man. But they secured the event, man. And they used the brothers, the street organizations, to help with the security. So it kept everything at a minimum. So about a couple of incidents, we got just a couple of incidents, nothing severe. And I thought that was something, but when I witnessed the Million Man March and all of the 2 million that showed up, all of the men that showed up, man, it blew my mind, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My father, who attended, we all cried. I mean, there was tears pouring. I mean, men weeping. The energy it's hard to describe. It's almost like trying to describe a woman giving birth. You can't. And I seen both of my children born, and that was fascinating to me to see it. So to give a description of it is very difficult. But so it's very difficult to even give a description because it's so so dense in terms of what it meant to me and how I felt. And to see the love, man, that I've never seen since. From that many men, to see how our armed forces, the Navy, the Army, the military, what I was privy to was some of the behind the scenes things, behind the scenes of the Capitol, behind the scenes across the river over in Virginia, where they were posted up with dogs and military equipment, and your father and many others, how they handle what is considered or supposed to be the best that the country has to offer, which is the generals. Man, please. We got some brothers, man, in our nation, brother, that was chosen. And I know they had to have been chosen by Master Farad Muhammad.
Beautiful.
To handle to handle this government. Brothers like, and I gotta say his name, formerly known as Brother Melvin, but now Brother Sadiq.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Man, that brother's outstanding.
Absolutely.
Outstanding. So when you have men like him and so many others I can name, man, so many other captains back then during the Million Man March. I mean, brother, it was beautiful. Now, prior to the Million Man March, Josh, I was also thankful to Allah that I had an opportunity to be a part of Savior's Day Ghana, 1994. Which took me, 9,000 miles back home.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Where it all began.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
And so I became a world traveler under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I thought I traveled when I was, working for the colonizers.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
I traveled for the colonizers, man, all over the country. There's only 3 states that I have not been in. But under these teachings, man, the minister took us overseas, brother.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
So the Million Man March, to answer your question, it's almost like reading the Quran. There are no words in English that can describe what I witnessed, what I felt.
Yes, sir. But Captain, people showing you love all across the country. I also wanted to ask you, what type of music do you like to listen to, sir?
Okay, Josh. I like rhythm and blues. I like jazz.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I'll listen to polka before I listen to hip hop. Even though I like hip hop, but I only like that that sends a positive message. Because the enemy has inserted himself into the hip hop arena and have tainted that part of our music industry. And it's got us acting other than ourselves. Okay. But I love jazz. I love jazz. I love R&B. That's the kind of music I listen to.
Yes, sir. And what do you do for fun outside of the resurrection of the dead?
Well, I'm gonna describe it like this to you, Josh. I fish physically, fish for fish. I fish fresh water, and I've done some ocean fishing, but I'm a freshwater fisherman. That's my fun, but I don't want to say it's just fun. I fish for fun, and I fish for food. just so happen I'm having fun while I'm fishing for food.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I say it like that. I also farm or garden.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have an outstanding garden this year.
Mm, mm.
Um, I'm being trained. You know, my parents had a garden growing up, but I'm being trained by one of the best farmers and gardeners on the planet, which is Brother Will Allen. I've been with him now a little bit over 6 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My goal is to be his #1 student. And so far, he told me just the other day, he is trying to give me master status, which is an honor that he would say something like that to me. But I have an outstanding garden, man. I'm harvesting my harvest yesterday, my onions. And later on, I'll send you some photos so that you can see some of my work. I harvest garlic already. I'm waiting on my cucumbers. And to tell you what I plant everything that goes into bean soup. So I don't know if you heard Dr. Wesley's presentation today, but about our dietary law and what it takes for us to survive. So I plant everything that it takes for us to survive in my garden. That's my fun. Because I don't want to do something that I can't, and that my family can't, and that my community can't benefit from. I did that prior to the nation. I did things that didn't benefit anybody but myself. And sometimes when I think about it, it didn't even benefit me. It was doing more harm than good. So that's what I do for fun, Brother Josh.
Oh, praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And Sister JB says you forgot to mention funk. I'm assuming it's one of your type of music you like to listen to.
Forgot to mention what?
Funk, as I guess I'm assuming what type of music.
That came from JB?
Yes, sir.
You said it came from JB? That's got to be my wife, brother.
Yes, sir. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sister JB, for your sacrifice as well, and for being by Brother Captain's side and rearing your children and grandchildren.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, man. I love me some funk, brother. Yeah, yes, and check it out, brother. I can still go a little bit too.
Well, playing music or dancing? Playing music or dancing?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Now I don't know what kind of music I play, but the only thing I can know how to do is put the album on the turntable or the CD in the slide or whatever. But I can still move a little bit.
Okay, yes, sir.
I'll show you at national training, brother. I'll show you that I still got a few steps.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Slide and the Family Stone is my favorite band of all time, so I know a little bit about some stuff. I like Boosie.
Okay.
I like Boosie Collins and
okay.
Yeah, the Ohio players. I know a little bit. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Now we have one more question for you, Ray Captain. What would you like your legacy to be, sir?
My legacy?
Yes, sir.
No, but Josh, I haven't really even thought about it. I haven't even really thought about it, but I'm gonna say it like this. When my son was 10 years old during the Million Man March, he said something that really touched my heart. He asked me during the Million Man March, he said, Dad, do you think that when you go to DC that you might be killed? Or that they might start a riot or fighting and you may be killed? And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know what to expect, and I don't know what's gonna happen. And he said to me, well, if anything happens to you, I'm gonna pick up right where you left off at. And I said, all praise to Allah. I had to get out the house then, man, because otherwise my son would have saw me, he'd have saw the tears, rolling down my face. And I said, nah, I couldn't let him see me like that. So I said, So I hugged them and I kissed my family and I went to DC. So my legacy for all those who I know and for my family to continue, man, in this work, to continue to build and fulfill that which the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we would fulfill, and that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that we would accomplish and fulfill that which Master Farad Muhammad said that we would fulfill, and that's to reclaim our own. I believe that. I believe that whether I'm living or dead. And the beauty of it is, Brother Josh, is just the fact that I know it's gonna happen. Not that I believe it's gonna happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know it's gonna happen because the God said it would. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so far, he's not a liar. So that's how I see this whole piece, brother. But haven't really thought about legacy.
Yes, sir. All praise due to Allah. And well, once again, Brother Captain, I just wanted to tell you right before we sign off, a lot of people are showing you love all across the country. I can't wait to put this on YouTube. Since my days in the junior FOI camp in Milwaukee, and always wanted to go to Wisconsin Dells and things of that nature. Once again, you've always been somebody I looked up to and admire. And I wanted to tell a quick story. At the drill competition, the year we won in 2017, 2018, the next year, we come in and it's a super long line. I never try to say like, can we get in? But it was me and my brother-in-law, and I was like, man, we just ain't getting in. Even though we just won the year before, all these years been a drill, I was like, man, we just not gonna get in. And who do I see? My brother Capt Charles on post, and he said, oh no, sir, brother, you ain't got to stand to the side. You can come on in. And it may have seemed small to you, but to me, my brother-in-law, that meant so much to us, because it was like, man, you know, the people who still care about the individual, even when I'm not performing on the stage, it was still like, man, we just brothers, just Muslims trying to enjoy the drill competition. And you've always been kind. That's been your spirit throughout my entire life. Every time I see you being strong and being a soldier, and I pray that I can grow into the type of FOI that you are, sir.
Oh, brother, please.
Young children can look at me and say he was strong and stern, sir, and all that good stuff. So, yes, sir.
I thank Allah for it all, brother. I think I'm grateful. I thank Allah for it all, man. I thank Allah for the FOI. I thank Allah for the MGT. I thank Allah for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, brother. I thank Allah, man, for all those who paved the way before me, the pioneers, man. We cannot neglect them. I thank Allah, man, for those who I currently serve under, my leadership, my regional captain, super regional captain, Brother Dwayne, the Assistant Supreme Captain, Brother Aziz, my Supreme Captain, Brother Mustafa Farrakhan, all those who assist, all of the captains, all of the players and the shakers under Team 5 in the Central Region, all of the regional captains, man, all are coming in, merging in on Milwaukee this week. So I'm excited to see everyone because we haven't met in over 2 years.
Yes,
so
sir,
we'll be coming together, you know, face to face this week for the national training. So there's still time to register for those who may not have registered. We're going to have a great time, have an excellent lineup or program for everybody. And again, for those who have never been to a national training, I don't know.
Yes, sir.
I'm just say it like that, you know. But be here.
Yes, sir.
Never miss, as our Assistant Supreme Captain says, Brother Aziz, never miss an opportunity to train.
Oh, praise to us. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off with the People's Podcast. Thank you all for watching, and see you all at the national training. May Allah continue to bless you, Brother Captain. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. Thank you so much, Brother Josh, for having me.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.